Hello, welcome my boulder bearded friends. I just came back from the gym and I thought, what a better time than this than to review one of the old school masculine fragrances. This one is actually from 1966 and is quite possibly one of my oldest fragrances. It probably reformulated quite a few times since the first time. I already sprayed it on my left side. Let's spray it for the opening on my right arm. So it's definitely a old school masculine gentlemanly kind of fragrance. It's quite a bit of old school spiciness, but also like the old school freshness, like you will see in fragrances like One Man Show by, what was it, Jacques Bogart and Azaro Pour Homme. Even though Pour Homme is a little bit more, fresher, I would say, and One Man Show is a little bit more woody. So I would say Aramis just falls a little bit in between those two. As you might expect, a lot of old school masculine notes. There is a lot of oak moss in this. You got your vetiver, your sandalwood, your amber. You got a bit of creaminess from coconut. Also, you got your artemisia, all those old school notes. The ones that really stand out to me are the oak moss and the leather, and then supported by notes like artemisia, myrrh, aldehydes. There's some little bit nice jasmine note in it, but especially the combination between the vetiver, leather, oak moss, and the cardamom, the spiciness, is real nice in this fragrance, and that's what I really like about it. It's quite a powerful, strong fragrance. It's great in the colder weather months. Right now it's still summer right here. It's what is it? The 27th of August. So it's quite warm. It's quite a signature kind of fragrance, especially nowadays. If you wear this, you really will stand out. But I feel, it smells dated, of course, but I think it's definitely worth wearing as something like a signature. Like, you will really stand out with it, and in a positive sense, for it's a real nice masculine fragrance. It has some alluring vibe to it, and I think that's because of the masculine factor in it. It's really a hair on the chest pudding fragrance, and I think that's why it's in a way also a bit seductive, like in the hyper masculine kind of sense. Downsides, of course, and I already kind of said it before, is that it has a bit of a old man vibe, for it is, of course, from 66, so it is quite old. It's quite harsh, overpowering, so it could be too much, especially for people who aren't used to wearing fragrances, and people who aren't used to smelling fragrances. But that, of course, can be mediated quite easily by just doing one or two sprays, especially now if you're not used to old school masculine fragrances like these. I would say definitely start off with perhaps even one spray, and then the next day two sprays perhaps, and just look for the sweet spot for yourself and your loved ones. All right, the top notes are aldehyde, myrrh, artemisia, thyme, clover, bergamot, and gardenia. And just like many old school masculine fragrances, it's just really a bouquet of flowers, especially the artemisia, the aldehydes, really give it the old school masculine vibe. With the aldehydes, really give it a bit of the soapiness, the freshness, and then the artemisia giving it a little bit of an herbal vibe, which is a real nice combination between the freshness and the spiciness, herbalness in this fragrance. Middle notes are patchouli, sage, jasmine, cardamom, and orris root. And in a way, it just continues. It's green, but also light. You know, greenness from the patchouli. You got the freshness from the jasmine, spiciness from the cardamom, and it all just comes together to a old school muscular, fresh, bit spicy fragrance. And I really like it. Base notes, of course, of leather, oak moss, musk, vetiver, sandalwood, amber, and coconut. If you're familiar with other old school masculine fragrances, the base notes are virtually all the same almost. It's just as a nice leather oak moss combination, which honestly is quite hard to beat with this fragrance, especially for the price. This one is what is it, 110 milliliters, which is 3.7 fluid ounces, and I bought this one for 15 euros, perhaps 20. So it's yeah, it's really nice. Again, the base is just a combination between a bit of bitterness from the oak moss. You got the vetiver, the sandalwood, you know, the woody vibes in it. You get a little bit of sweetness from the amber and the coconut, and a bit of creaminess as well. And underneath it all, it's just a nice, quite soft leather, I would say. Especially if you compare it to, you know, the real leather fragrances like ombre leather, such kind of fragrances. Longevity of this fragrance is quite long lasting, I would say around, depending of course on the amount of sprays and the humidity and the temperature and etc, etc, etc. But I would say its longevity is around 9 hours, perhaps 10, something like that. It's quite a long lasting fragrance. You know, if you do multiple sprays, like 4 or 5 sprays, perhaps even 12 hours, something like that. With a Ciao, which is also quite strong. Again, I started off the video with it, and I will end it probably with it as well, for it is a pretty strong, heavy fragrance, if you will. And especially with couple sprays, you will be smelled. It's just important to figure out how much you want to be smelled at the occasions that occur during your day, because you can imagine that you don't want to smell too heavy of a fragrance smell around you at work, especially if you you know, work in a cubicle or you know, with co-workers in a close proximity. Me myself, I work in healthcare, of course. Yeah, I would just do probably 1 or 2 sprays, which is more than sufficient to have a real nice fragrance smell all day. So comment down below if you tried this fragrance, or perhaps even one of the older old school masculine fragrances. Comment down below, and also you know, which one you like the most. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. This was Aramis by Aramis. Ciao.